A warm welcome to a short tutorial on automation in SharePoint using Microsoft Flow. We will start off with a simple email workflow. It is very simple but the most common requirement. Overall, when you are working on a Microsoft Flow project, decide the list or library. If you don't have a list, create one. Then decide the action. It may be sending email, notification, etc. For complex requirements, you might have a condition. We can do complex conditions, setting variables, and take the action accordingly. Then choose the template. So based on your needs, choose the template. Various templates are available in Microsoft Flow. Then authenticate and finally test the flow and make sure it works as expected. So how do you launch the Microsoft Flow? You can go to your SharePoint site, go to the app launcher and search for Flow and launch it from the SharePoint app launcher from the top left corner. Or else when you're developing a particular list, you have the Flow option to develop a workflow for the list directly from there. So these are the list of flows available. The teams can develop workflows. And when you create a flow, there are various templates available. So when you create a new workflow, let's just try to go home. And the idea behind workflow using Microsoft Flow is work less, do more. Really focus on the business process and not typing large lines of code. So what we'll do is we'll select my flows and we look at the templates or the various actions and available in Microsoft Flow. So select new and we're not going to actually create, we'll select create from template. So this will give you an idea of various things which are possible with the help of Microsoft Flow. We are going to look at how to create a email when an item is added to a list now, but there are various nice templates available like sending yourself a reminder in 10 minutes or saving the items to some folder or OneDrive. And it has very good templates. If you want to do something with Twitter, you can just give a search for Twitter and most of the times it will be available. So you have very powerful flow actions, flow templates available. So based on your needs, you can actually use the Microsoft Flow and get your needs done. It can be very powerful to send emails to your customers, do marketing, or keep your team informed and do complex business logic also. It's extremely powerful and it has option of integration with Microsoft Power Apps also. It's extremely powerful. So you have various tabs available where you see the most featured, the flow items which are shared with you, the normal approval flows, and any flows which start with a button, flows which have the option to collect data and integrated with the other workflows like travel request or and then normal email workflows. So it's extremely powerful. Okay, so we'll start off with a simple email workflow from a list. For that, we'll decide the list. So I'll go to the workflow site and I decide to choose a list first. So I have a list called SP Comics where I'm going to upload the comics, and as and when I upload the comics, I want the email to be triggered. So let's start off with default SharePoint option. So we first create a new app. Let's say I want to create a picture library. I'll create a picture library. Let's say I'll search for picture. I select picture library and I create the SP comics, SP Tangu comics and select create. Now my library is created. Next I'll create the flow which will send an email reminder when I just add an item to this particular library. So I'll select the flow icon and then select create a flow. let me select the send a customized email when a new file is added. This is a very common requirement, and hence I'm starting off with the email workflow itself. So when you select send a customized email when a new file is added, choose the mode of authentication, give your credentials and make sure SharePoint and Outlook is authenticated with valid credentials and select create flow. So once the authentication is successful, most of the times the flows will have some steps. For now, we are not having lots of steps. It's just created. If you want to modify, select edit. You will see a couple of steps. There are various steps you can do. You can create variables. You can get the variable properties. So let's look at this. So when a new file is created from this particular uh, site and you have a folder, and I'm going to then get the profile properties. So there is an action which is getting the user profile properties, and we are getting the given name and mail properties. Now once we get that, we are going to use that in the send an email action, which is going to send the mail to the one who created, and then it is giving the subject new file added, and see how the nice property names are added. We are not going to customize the email message now. Later we will see how to customize the email message. So by default, we can add, by default the message is pretty good. It is displaying hi, given name for your information. This person has added a new file and it is linked to the file and thanks. So this is the most common message and it's pretty good. I'll just select save. Now once it is saved, now let me upload the comic to the folder. I'll just drag and drop a file. So once the file is added, some things happen behind the scenes. So we can just see the flow activities using see your flows and select your particular flow for this list. If you have created it recently, you should be able to see the one at the top just 58 seconds ago. You can see the details, so whether it has succeeded or failed. So even if it has failed, you can just select and see where is the problem. You will find out from the action where is the problem. All are green and it has sent an email. I'll just open the email and also see if the email has been sent. So a new file is added and it is giving the name, and if I click this particular link, it is opening up the picture. As a quick summary, we have just created a new SP library where we are storing some comics. Then we decided that we are going to send an email. So we chose the template that will send an email when a file is added. Then we gave the credentials and authenticated. And then finally we tested the flow. All the steps were successful and we just saw that the mail was sent. So as a summary, we had an introduction to SharePoint workflows using Microsoft Flow. We discussed the overall steps to create a flow, how to launch a flow from App Launcher and also from a list. We learned how to authenticate by giving the credentials for SharePoint or Office 365 email or other systems. Then we chose the template. In this case, we just chose the template that will send the email, and we also added a new file to the list or library and saw that the email was sent successfully. Hope you enjoy creating workflows using Microsoft Flow, which is very simple and self-explanatory, and rarely you need training for that. Thank you. Enjoy creating flows. Take care. Bye-bye.